In the winter of 1643, the most dangerous man in Japanese history sat alone in a cave. And what he was doing there changed everything we know about human performance. That cave was Reigando, cut into a cliff above the sea in Kyushu, Japan, where Musashi retreated with no sword, no student, and no opponent, just his mind. Musashi fought his first duel at 13, went on to face 60 opponents, and never lost a single one. What he was doing in that cave wasn't rest. It was a form of invisible training that centuries later neuroscience would confirm activates the very same motor cortex and neural pathways as real physical movement. Here's the key insight. Your brain cannot reliably tell the difference between something you've done and something you vividly, deliberately imagine doing. 2 years after entering that cave, Musashi wrote it all down. The Book of 5 Rings, completed at 62, just 7 weeks before he died. Most people expect a book about sword technique, but what Musashi actually wrote was something deeper. A philosophy of the relationship between the mind and physical reality. At the heart of that philosophy is mushin, a state of no mind, where you clear all anticipation, all fear, and all desired outcome, and simply perceive what is. Mushin practice suppresses anticipatory anxiety, sharpens motor precision, and speeds up decision-making. What modern sports psychology would call achieving flow on command. Now let's look at what happened when scientists brought Musashi's methods into the laboratory. A 2025 study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences confirmed that motor imagery fires the motor cortex and excites the corticospinal tract. Neurologically, imagined movement and real movement are the same thing. A meta-analysis spanning 24 years found that mental practice alone, no physical movement whatsoever, produces statistically significant improvements in skilled performance. In a striking karate experiment, one group trained physically for a month, while another trained only through mental imagery. And at the end, both groups showed comparable skill gains. What Musashi called the way of strategy, modern science calls functional equivalence. 4 centuries apart, both arrived at the same conclusion. Imagined action and real action share the same neural mechanisms. But here's where most people get it wrong, and why so much popular advice about visualization actually backfires. When you vividly imagine the trophy or the finish line, your brain partially satisfies the drive to achieve it. And just like that, your motivation quietly drops. Process-based visualization, where you feel the movement from inside your body, produces real neurological training, while outcome daydreaming produces only the feeling of success without any of the gains. Musashi's system had 3 stages. First, clear the mind through mushin. Second, rehearse specific decisions and movements in precise sensory detail from inside the body. Third, release all attachment to the outcome. From Musashi's cave to Olympic training halls to NASA astronaut protocols, the same system has been rediscovered and applied across 4 centuries and every continent. Elite athletes are now formally trained in kinesthetic imagery, feeling movement from the inside, which is exactly what Musashi described as inhabiting the sword. Before any significant performance, find a quiet space, clear your mind, rehearse these specific decisions and movements in full sensory detail from the inside, and then let go of the outcome entirely. The research-backed dose is simple. 10 minutes of mental practice 3 times a week, sustained over time. Enough to produce measurable skill gains through mental rehearsal alone. Musashi stopped fighting and kept winning. And the cave on the cliff above the sea in Kyushu still stands, holding a lesson that hasn't aged by a single day.